Well, it seems it's very clear that a lot of people do not like how James Gunn's Superman looks. And I'm not gonna dwell on the stuff that people have issue with because it's honestly entirely subjective. All I want to do is share my opinion and my perspective of why I actually think it looks pretty damn cool. We have been in a very boring era for cinematography, particularly in modern, big budget blockbusters. I don't know what happened to color grading in the past like 5-6 years, but it's like everything is shot in log. It's very flat, it's very drab. I know a lot of it has to do with VFX. We are lighting more flat because we need coverage and we don't know what we're gonna do in post, so we don't commit to any looks actually in camera, which contributes to this very flat, sludgy, drab aesthetic that we've been seeing across the map, but mostly in higher budget TV shows and films. I'll be honest, when the teaser for the teaser, which what are we doing here, guys? Why we have teasers for teasers came out and I saw the visuals from Superman, I was taken back. It's like a little ghastly at first. I was like, what the hell are we doing here? What is this color grading? Why is it shot in midday sun? It didn't look good to me and I didn't have the context to really have an opinion about it, but at first glance I thought, ooh, but I bit my tongue. I waited for the actual teaser to come out because I knew I needed context on the narrative of what this thing was even about. What's the tone of the movie? Does the cinematography fit the story? And I think it absolutely does. When everything is boring, when everything is flat, I find this intriguing. I find it exciting. I think it looks fresh and modern. There's a swing. There's a choice. I like when filmmakers make choices. And I like that it isn't trying to look like Man of Steel. It's not trying to look like the Batman. It doesn't have to be dark and gritty and real. It can be fun and bright and bold. But then oddly, there is a lot of people that are bucketing this into like the streaming look, which I don't think that makes any sense at all. This doesn't look like streaming TV or cheap TV. This still feels polished and big budget. It's just crispy. And I know, because I've done this myself, we have said that movies are looking too clean. And I would argue that this Superman movie looks clean, but it's clean in the right way. Because clean is really us just saying it looks boring, it doesn't have any texture. This has texture. This has grain. This is very crunchy. It has lots of contrast. I love that they're clipping out the highlights. It just isn't flat. And maybe I've just been, longing for something to have contrast. And that's why I'm gravitating towards the look of this film. But I just think it stands out. And because I think it looks fresh and different, I want to know how they're pulling it off. So I did a little bit of digging. And I think the most interesting thing that I found out so far about how they shot this movie is that they're using a Leica Tri-Elmar lens. And I had never even heard of this lens before I looked it up. It's this weird Leica photography lens. It's actually 3 lenses in one. It's a 16mm, an 18mm, and a 21mm. So it's 3 wide-angle lenses in one lens that you can just select and switch as you're shooting. And you can tell in a lot of shots, this is probably what they're using to get this wide angle look. And of course, this wide angle aesthetic is kind of in vogue right now. It's very trendy to use a large format camera. In the case of Superman, they're using the Red V Raptor, which is a large format cinema camera. Couple that with a wide angle lens, and you're gonna get some weird, funky, bizarre aesthetics. The best looking movie this year is The Brutalist, which I'll have another video about very soon. And that shot on VistaVision. And VistaVision has the same field of view as a full frame camera. So like an FX3, which means when you use a 50mm lens, you're actually seeing 50mm and you're not getting distortion like that. It actually feels wider than you would typically use with a 35mm camera or Super 35 or APS-C. And so this full frame look, a lot of people are really into it right now, and we're leaning into it hard, and it's clear why James Gunn and his cinematographer like it. It works for me. It gives it this heightened, hyper-real, unreal look, which I think is a positive thing for a comic book movie. Leave the gritty, dark stuff in the 2000s, leave it with The Dark Knight, leave it with Man of Steel. We had that time. And you can even let Matt Reeves and Greg Fraser continue to do that with the Batman in their own way, which they're even going further back. They're doing that like 90s Seven aesthetic, David Fincher, Darius Kanji type stuff. Let them do that. Let them have fun. It fits the narrative of the Batman and the story they want to tell, but it is clear this is a lot brighter. It's a lot more fun. It's a lot more vibrant. And so the cinematography is telling the story that James Gunn wants to tell. And I'm very keen to hear that story. So why does Superman look like that? Because James Gunn wants it to look like that. Yeah, what do you think of the look of Superman? Are you in pro crazy, weird, wonky, wackadoodle? Or you bring back Snyder? I want Man of Steel again. Just go watch Man of Steel. What are you doing? Yeah, anyways, I gotta go. See ya.